Hey guys, it's Payne here, and this is the playlist of my life. Michael Jackson, Rock With You. This is my favourite Michael Jackson song by far. For me, it was the way he sang it, and because it was a live performance, and I knew I always wanted to be a performer. I just love it. I think it's amazing, and it's something I've sang in my living room when I used to live at home with my parents many times. And there was always that little move he did in the video with his feet like this that always got me. And I stood for hours learning that. I wanna rock with you all night. It was a shot live video of him with a microphone with the wire in that shiny, big suit, like space suit type thing on. And I've always loved it, so top of the playlist, MJ. Eminem, Real Slim Shady. I think everybody went through this phase when Eminem came around, and I was only small, but I managed to sneak myself somehow off my sister, I think an unrated version, which was quite funny. And I mean, the whole album was great, even the little like interludes that he had in between songs and different things, and the way he brought those different characters and people to life. I used to jump around on my bed listening to this. So yeah, this is one of my favourites. Linkin Park, In the End. This was actually one of the first real albums that I bought. I think it was following on from my Eminem stage, or just before it. I think this was really, really great, and I think this was the time I went through my little skateboarder phase. So the music kind of goes with the mood of life, I guess, which is nice, because this is the playlist of my life, it makes sense. And yeah, I was a little skateboarder, had all the little jeans with the drawings on and the chains and whatever, I had a little skateboard. Now, me as a skateboarder, I couldn't really go anywhere on the skateboard. I learned that one trick where you put it in front of your feet and then you like jump on it, and that was where I was like a static skateboarder, if there's such a thing, which means I was really not very good. But I felt like I was good when I was listening to this song. The main thing about this song is the first real time where I got into like guitars and all that side of things. It was a completely different genre of music for me to listen to. It's actually kind of a tangent away from music that I would usually listen to, but I just think Linkin Park was so amazing, and there was a real feel about this song. Heatwave, Mind-Blowing Decisions. Now this is a little bit of a different one for me, and it really pulls away from Linkin Park, which you just played, but I think it's time we relax a little bit. This song was actually the first song that I learnt to use a record player. Now, my dad had a record player in the house, and when I was younger, I would go up and I would find different albums and different things, but what would draw me towards them was more the covers of the albums and in the colours. And I mean, I was like 8 or 9 years old when I was listening to this song, which when you listen to it, it'll be quite funny, really. But this is one of my favourites that I ever picked out. So yeah, this is how my learning to use a record player introduced me to a great song by a great band. This is Heatwave, Mind-Blowing Decisions. Fly Me to the Moon, for anyone. That's not a really accurate drawing of the moon, it's the best I could do under pressure. Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon was the first audition that I did on X Factor.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
I went through a stage of singing swing music, mainly because my voice was quite low, which is really funny now, because when I was in the band, I was the boy who was singing the high bits. But yeah, this is what I started out with. I think Frank was brilliant, and I think him, for the person of his era, he was like the spokesman of his era. And if you listen to real old Frank Sinatra, like long albums, you get these little interludes of him joking around with a Rat Pack, and that's the funniest thing. It's like you get comedy in between each part of the songs, which is fantastic. So it's definitely worth a listen. This is Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon. Obviously, I have to put a One Direction song in, as it's where I'm birthed from. It wasn't one of our biggest songs, not one of our most well-known, but for me, it's a really poignant song, where in the middle of the band there was just this period where we felt almost untouchable in a sense, and everything that we released was amazing, the fans are amazing, we were travelling to all these beautiful places. And if you listen to this song, it always gives me like the view of a beach and calmness, and that's how it was within the band, and that's what it felt like. So yeah, have a listen.
Once in a lifetime, it's just right.
This is my latest track, This Is Familiar. Now this song for me kind of describes the chase, which is obviously one of the most exciting parts in any relationship. When you first see someone or know someone that you really want to get to know more, and in my head, you kind of at a little party or something, you see someone like, oh, I'd really love to get to know them more, I'd love to get more familiar with them. So that's what this song's really about. My favourite line within the song is actually your waistline, the bass line, because I did a little ad lib that goes bass.
Your waistline, the bass line, in real life, don't wanna know FaceTime.
Which is actually leading to a funny Ed Sheeran story of me and him in a lift, where he came in, and for some reason, I mean, Ed's got some strange humour sometimes over the years that I've known him, and it was a lift with me, my parents, Harry, Taylor Swift, and Ed Sheeran. And some of my other friends from school were in this lift. And really random lift to be in. And Ed was stood next to me in the corner and just kept leaning over and going, bass. So I put it in the song after we said bass line. So there you go, there's a little fun fact for you. And last but not least, to finish it off, this is one of my favourite artists of this last generation, really. I love him, I think he's amazing.
I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wish.
And once again, I always kind of relay back to Frank, because Frank was the spokesperson of his generation, whereas I feel like Drake has kind of filled that spot, even though they're completely different parts of music. But God's Plan for me, I mean, the video was amazing, great idea and great thing to do, what a wonderful thing to do. And you really see a different side of Drake in it, actually, that you've never really seen before. But yeah, really great song, and always picks me up at any point. Drake, God's Plan. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this mad transition of music, but that is the playlist of my life.